大家好! Oh my goodness, it's been a minute and I'm sorry, I have to apologize. And I have to thank you guys for helping me reach 101 YouTube subscribers. And my 100th subscriber actually requested today's video, the cost of living. So the reason why I haven't been uploading a lot of videos in June, I think I uploaded one video or two videos, is because I had a visitor. My mom came from South Africa and we both celebrated her 60th birthday. So I was very busy with that, and it was a rainy June, y'all. The whole of June was raining, so I couldn't do any vlogs, y'all, because I wasn't about to test if my camera is water resistant or whatever, even though they may say it is. But no, this girl is not about to experiment. And the fact that I respect my mom's privacy, she doesn't like being on social media, y'all. So she has her reasons and I respect that. So that's why I didn't post anything or do any videos, and I just wanted to spend time with my mother, really. So I didn't have time for YouTube. But thank you once again for tuning in. Please don't forget to subscribe, like my videos, and comment on the comment section below. I am a bit sick, so if I sound like I'm talking out of a teen, summer is here and I really get very sinusitis during summer, and it's a whole lot of mess. And yeah, and let's acknowledge how my hair has grown, y'all. I feel like I should do hair videos on how to do your own hair in China. But anyways, let me stop digressing and get on to the video. So there are two types of cost of living that I've experienced personally in China. So not a whole of China really. I'm just gonna speak about my small town, tier 4 people. Hey, so the first one is it hits on the emotional aspects of life, it hits on your spiritual aspects of life, it hits on your social aspects of life, and your, I think I mentioned quite a lot. I'll add on. So last year, let me tell you a story. I embarked on this journey and I relocated to China to make my life better for my family and also myself, y'all. So upon my settling in China, 3 weeks down the line, my father passed away. Y'all, I had invested all my money here and I'm not coming out of a wealthy family, so there was no way I was gonna go back to South Africa, because first of all, I needed to settle in here. I was still on training and I had to choose, y'all. I had to prioritize, and I realized that okay, there ain't no way I'm gonna make it for the funeral, because it takes literally one day to go to South Africa, and I don't live in the biggest cities that I actually land on. Even if I get to South Africa, I still have to book a bus to take me home, my own home. So that was a lot of costs. And when you book something, like when you book something and you didn't plan about it, it really gets expensive. So I was like, okay, fine, I'm not gonna go for the funeral. So that was a very expensive cost of living emotionally that I experienced. And then upon digesting that, months went by. My best friend's mother passed away. Again, I couldn't go back because the timing was really off, because in a month's time I had planned to go home because my school was gonna close, y'all. But then now I couldn't take leave and change the flight tickets and whatnot, because it wouldn't make sense. I would have to come back and then there would be a holiday, and then everything. And in China, they don't cater in the contracts that you will sign or that you have signed. They don't cater for the loss of a loved one. Like in South Africa, you get a paid leave if your loved one passes on. Here, they don't. You will have to take an unpaid leave, because you're going to be gone for approximately a week if you go home. So yeah, that happened. So that is the most expensive cost of living I've experienced in China emotionally. And then socially, in my tier 4 or T4 place, ah, people here are not really social. I only have two friends, and those friends are my friends because I worked with them. I not worked, I still work with them. I work with them, so I can say they're my friends, but they're more of my colleagues, really. And everyone in this town is married. They have their own lives. They have a own family to take care of, so they don't really care as to go clubbing. I visited one club during the 31st of December, and yo, when I got there, I found kids, not teenagers. No, I can handle teenagers, but I found kids, yo, and their mother came to me and she asked if I could take a picture with them. Oh my goodness, it was the saddest New Year I've ever had, and not to mention, I was working in Christmas Day and there was zero decorations. It didn't feel like Christmas. I knew from Facebook and Instagram that it was that it was Christmas, and seeing my family back home, that okay, it's Christmas spirit, but there was nothing here. When I walked out of my apartment, there was nothing that suggested it's Christmas. So watch out for that. And I also spoke to someone on Facebook as I was interested in the school that she currently works for. She told me how she cried during Christmas time. She was also working and she came here with her kids, y'all, and her town, just like mine, had zero vibes for Christmas, zero fucks to give for Christmas. So that was a hard pill to swallow. And then you have the spiritual part of the cost of living. It's expensive as well because most of us here are Christians from South Africa or from any other country, really. So when you come here, especially if you are in the smallest towns like me, there's, y'all, ever since I set foot in China, I haven't seen a church, y'all. Nothing. Zero. Like zilch. No Jehovah's Witnesses. You know how they come to your doors and be knocking and trying to convince you or recruit you for their team. There is nothing like that, which is also good in a way, because that means whatever they practice, I don't know about. Like literally, I don't know what they practice. I don't know about what they practice. They don't know about what I practice. No one is on anyone's face about any type of religion. So that is also good in a way. But for a person who is used to going to church, not literally every Sunday, I'll confess, I didn't go to church literally every Sunday, but every now and then you do go and socialize with church people, exchange verses, all those testimonies. There ain't nothing like that here. Churches here are like illegal because the government really doesn't fancy church going or Christianity. It's like a threat to them. So but in other bigger cities like your T1s and your T2s, sometimes T3, I've read that there are people who actually have churches and it's not illegal, so they allow them as long as they don't bother other people. They do their own thing and they go home. So that also comes to, even if you are in a tier 1 city, that church is not yours and it literally won't be practicing the same thing that you are used to. So that is also another thing you will have to consider. But I'm okay. I know my God. He got me here for a reason, y'all. So he ain't gonna let me down. So I'm focused on the church within me. So I'm not really that bothered, but there are people who may be bothered with that. And then let's talk about the cost of living, the famous cost of living that people really want to know or are concerned about. So I'm going to be briefly touching on the groceries, transport, rent, and what else? Just the social part of it. But upon those things that I've mentioned, I can kill two, because the social part, I've told you, I don't really have a social life, which is another reason why after this contract ends in a month's time, I'm going to move away into a fairly bigger town so that I can focus on myself now, y'all. No, I've had it with the alone time. So the social part, I can't really touch on that because I don't have clubs. As I mentioned, I'm the only foreigner here, so weekend, that one. And then the rent, I don't pay rent, y'all. I didn't even bother asking how much rent is here because there's few rentals. Like a lot of people have their own houses here, so they bought their houses. But I'm staying at my boss's place. I don't stay with my boss, but I'm staying at my boss, one of my boss's houses, so I don't pay anything. And then the utilities, so I do, however, I did pay for my internet, which was 1,000 rand for the whole year, but it's a very shitty internet because it's like third party of the biggest internet service, so it's really bad in this small town. Trying to plug in my VPNs and everything, it's great for me to use the social network, but I can't stream things online and watch them. I have to download them, but I do that at school, so it doesn't really bother me. I do watch TV since I'm also learning Chinese, so I can say it's okay, but no. And then I do pay my electricity and water, but ever since I got here, since last year, August, I only paid twice for water, which in total amounted to 400 rands. So I only paid twice. I don't know how they count this thing, but it is ridiculously cheap. I've only paid twice, and that amounted to 400 rands for water. However, electricity is also very cheap. It depending on which season it is. During winter last year, December, November, December, January, February, I pay once a month, which is like 200 rands. But now, since summer started, I pay once in 2 months. So that means that 200 rands lasts me for the whole 2 months, because I don't use a lot of the electric appliances I use when it's winter, like my electric blanket, the air conditioner, turning it into hot, all those things. So I don't use them quite a lot. So I pay like 200 rands in over 2 months. And the fact that I stay alone, so I don't really use a lot of lights and I don't use a lot of electricity, but it is ridiculously cheap. And then the groceries. So when I came here last year, I used to buy groceries like I do at home, go all out and buy groceries like, okay, this is for the whole month. And then I realized that, wow, staying alone, like literally alone, I don't even have a person to share with. Sometimes when you're sharing and then this person is cooking like every day, so you sort of like get embarrassed, and you also try to cook, so that you can, there can be a battle of scents in the room, different spices. Y'all, I ain't got none of that. There ain't no competition. So I'm really, really demotivated to cook every day, and the laziness also comes in. So I stopped buying groceries. So what I do is I spend roughly including everything and the snacks that I do use, that I do buy, I can say I spend 1,000 rands per month, which is like 500 RMBs, plus minus 500 RMB. So converting that to rands, it's like 1,000 rands for my food for the whole month. That means including my junk food and the actual food that I eat. I like to blend a lot of things since I'm really lazy to cook, so I drink a lot of my food, and I do buy like meat, and then I always buy cooked vegetables. They really make nice vegetables, and I haven't really paid attention and tried to learn how to cook the different types of vegetables I have been eating here. And then transportation, I don't use transportation, and I was very lucky. My manager gave me a bicycle, and my town is not that big, so I get along just fine with my bicycle. However, when I use the Uber or the Didi, Chinese Uber, to go to the train station, which is like 5 kilometers away from me, it cost me 14 rands, 7 RMB. So that is 14 rands to go 5 kilometers to the train station when I do go out. but I can walk to my school, I can walk to the supermarkets and buy things. So it's really like 5 minutes away from me, 10 minutes, 5 minutes away from me. So I don't really pay transportation, so I don't know a lot about transportation costs. So everything calculated, the let's just calculate the electricity as if I'm paying monthly. The 200 rands for the electricity plus the 1,000 rands for the food. So roughly I spend 1,200, and then not counting the clothes that I'm not a I don't buy I do buy a lot of clothes when I do it, but I don't always buy them. And when I do buy them, I buy them from Taobao very cheap. Like y'all, I buy jeans for like 50 rands, t-shirts for 20 rands, 10 rands. I know where to look. That's the thing. I know where to look in Taobao, and I know it the other apps that I mentioned in my other videos, y'all. If you've seen them, you know what I'm talking about. So I know where to look, and I know how to look, and I know who to ask. My colleagues are very helpful, and they always call me or send me links when there's a sale. So that's how I shop. However, the only thing that I can say I buy expensive is the shoes. I'm a sneaker lover. When I buy shoes, that's the only time I want to buy brands. Not all of my shoes are brands, but when I buy techies, y'all, I go for brands because I think it's a nice investment for me, and I like brands in shoes. But jeans, t-shirts, whatever, non-branded clothes. But the shoes, it doesn't matter. I don't have a specific one. I buy Nikes. So the highest I've bought a shoe was like 800 to 1,000. I don't go up. I really don't go up because as I said, I know where to look, and they know what I like at work. So they normally send me the link, and then I will buy from there or wait for these sales. And there's always a sale in China on the apps. There's always a sale. You just need to always be on your phone and checking the right places. And I think that rounds up my own cost of living in China. Basically, I can quite say on a normal month without buying clothes, I spend 1,200 rands. That means my whole salary, which I've been doing, I send it back home because I am busy back home doing a lot of things. So I send it back home, y'all, and I save some of it. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and don't forget to subscribe. I don't know what you're waiting for if you haven't subscribed up until this time. And yeah,